morning, everyone.
Morning, everybody. So nice to be in a place with people. And real faces. So great to be with all of you today.
Yes, and quickly, happy Veterans Day, and thank you to all who have served. I'm very, very excited, yes, to be in person and to be with both of you, Christopher and Sharon, to talk about your partnership together. So I'm sure everyone in this room knows that last month, Prima entered close to 600 Vitamin Shoppe retail locations, as well as online and the app, with their wellness products. And this is part of the Vitamin Shoppe's CBD HQ initiative, which is really the Vitamin Shoppe taking a real leadership position in the retail world when it comes to CBD products. And we're going to dive into that partnership, how it came about, any pitfalls, looking forward into the future, and all of that. So I would love to begin with the origin story, how the companies connected, and what that looked like.
You want to start?
You got it.
Okay. So it was almost a year ago when I actually got contacted by a colleague and who knew Christopher and knew what was happening at Prima and said, hey, you really need to meet. And they're developing this incredible brand. And so we had that initial conversation. And what struck me when we had the conversation was not just about the amazing products that Christopher and the team were building at Prima. It was the values and the importance of bringing this product category to consumers in a meaningful way. And so we were signed up, and we introduced Christopher and Jessica to our merchant team, who have done an incredible job bringing CBD to the marketplace and to our millions of consumers across the globe. And anyway, it was... but it's taken a while, and here we are, and I'll let Christopher pick up the story from there.
Thanks, Sharon. Morning, everyone. And you touch on an interesting piece, because I think most partnerships and most connections happen best not through brands, but through people and alignment around principles and values. And when we talked and connected and discussed, a lot of the conversation was not about the ambition or the opportunity or the financial growth in the category. It was really about the duty that we both felt, that these are molecules and plants and science-driven compounds that need a level of stewardship and guardianship and patience and commitment to telling the story. And so I think that the conversation around education and access was what I was most turned on, because trust is what we are selling ultimately, and quality and an assurance around accountability, which ultimately this category has emerged and grown from the world of regulatory and a prohibition around fear and realities around stigma and bias. And so we need to slow down, talk about accountability, talk about trust, talk about quality, talk about the things that really matter, because this is a healthcare category.
Yeah. I think, for us, we are very passionate about quality, innovation, and expertise, quality in everything that we do. So the products that we carry, the partners that we choose to work with are an incredible and a very important part of the products that we want to bring to our consumers, and the education that we want to share. And in this category, and you guys know this, it's tough. And there's a lot of not so great information out there, and we really want to be that place where people can come and trust the information, the level of education, understand what's in the product, the traceability of that product, to make sure that we can really start delivering a true, honest, educated message to consumers about the benefits of this industry. And that's a big part of our mission, is to make sure that consumers really understand the benefits that are part of this product category.
And this is the best part of conversations that when you have with sophisticated, capable merchants and retailers, is when they start talking about compliance and claim substantiation and regulatory and traceability and SOPs and documentation and the level of rigor and discipline it takes, right? This is no longer sprinkling CBD into some type of anhydrous bomb and cross their fingers and say you have a brand or a product. That is not happening anymore. We are bringing real nutraceutical, cosmeceutical quality products. We need retailers, because retailers are now the guardians at the gate. They are the regulatory bodies. In a world where retailers
Which is a little bananas.
which is it's coming. We all need like brand founders and leaders need to do the work at the state and Washington D.C. levels, but we need to demonstrate.
Yep.
Like if the FDA knocks on your door, are you ready? Yep. You better be ready, because they will come, and they are coming, and retailers are looking.
And by the way, they have come. And so preparing that, making sure that you're prepared for that is going to be very important, because, you know, we were the very first and still continue to be the only national retailer that carry ingestible CBD. There's plenty out there that carry, you know, the balms and the topicals and all of that, but it's ingestible. And if you look at the assortment, we have, on average, over 8 feet of assortment of ingestible CBD, the highest quality CBD ingestible products out there on the market. We're delighted that Prima is a part of that assortment now going forward. We will continue to edit that assortment based on what consumers are looking for, making sure that the education that our health enthusiasts, that's what we call our team in the stores, our health enthusiasts, have the best education. Because, by the way, every product that's in our store, we have separate education for, and they have to go through testing and education around being able to speak to that product. So when you're partnering with a retailer, you have to understand the importance and make sure that retailer understands the importance of the education, because they don't work the same. And it's very important that the retailers that you work with understand the importance of that.
You touch on so many great points, and I want to backtrack a moment, because I'm sure there are a lot of brand founders in the audience. And for Christopher, and I'm sure you can add to this conversation, this is not your first retail rodeo. You have all of your beauty. You have a retail partnership with Sephora where you have your beauty products. But still, I would love to, since this is the ingestible category and the wellness category, talk about what it looked like from that initial conversation when you all were like, okay, we're going to partner, to being on shelf, which happened last month. How long did that take? What did that look like? Again, any pitfalls?
Yeah, as Sharon was saying, it really is about a level of conversation with the merchant teams. It happens at very particular levels. Mm-hmm. And you need, what I loved and what a good merchant will ask you is for great sourcing and traceability documentation, clearly testing and rigor around your quality and your assurances about what's in and what's not in. So purity and potency. How many times are you testing? With agencies are you using? What third-party accreditations and certifications do you have? Are you B Corp certified? Are you EWG verified certified? We're the first in the industry to be EWG verified. What other third-party certifications do you have around sustainability or consciousness, plastic neutral certified, carbon positive certified? So what are these things that also are part of the package of conversation? And then, again, show me your SOPs, show me your quality documentation, show me your audits. These are things that are necessary now. And a great merchant will request those. And some of the pitfalls happen when you are rushing to the gate of, hey, let's get this product in their hands. I've got to ask my co-man to plus up the production and source quickly. And so a lot of you never want to sacrifice quality. So a lot of the things that happen are always 11th hour, for me, always operational and shipping. Like, that's a thing that's out of my control. Once it leaves my DC, oh God, is it going to get there in time? And we have that problem.
And I think, you know, it's as founders, and many of you in this room are, and you're so focused on the development of the product, you can't sell anything unless it gets to the retailer and it actually gets into the consumer. And so the ability to make sure that you put the right people or the time and energy and effort on the operations side of the business is so important. And I think sometimes that gets overlooked. And for the retailer to get it into the consumer's hands, all of those, I's have to be dotted and those T's have to be crossed in terms of the packaging and the shipping and where does it go to, and then how does the retailer get it to where they need to get it to. So it's not just about shipping it out of your distribution center. You need to have an awareness and understanding of what it means when it gets to the shelf of that consumer, and then what is that retailer going to do for you. I do want to go back to the other thing Christopher said real quickly on the whole regulatory thing. I think what's important is you guys determine who you partner with and the retailers that you want to work through or through any digital channels is what's their commitment to on the regulatory side. So it's one thing for you to be able to deliver all of that, but in our case, we have a very, not large, isn't a lot of people, but we have a very focused and very specific regulatory measures that
unyielding.
Because we really want to stand behind the quality, because that's where the trust comes in, and you want the consumer to really trust what's being sold. And so I think if you can find a partner also that shares the understanding and the importance of all of the things that Christopher spoke of, that's really very special, because then you have a retailer that really understands and cares about what you developed. And
particularly along that trajectory of legal, regulatory, and compliance is claim substantiation. Do not make claims that you aren't allowed to make.
Oh, please don't do that. Not
don't
good.
do it. You're not serving yourself. You're not serving the industry. You're over your skis. You're going to have bottom feeder lawyers knock on your door. It's not going to be worth the effort. Don't do it. That's just like, come on, guys.
Don't do it.
Don't do it.
Because, by the way, that retailer is giving you all that product back.
Exactly.
Where is the Vitamin Shoppe consumer when it comes to CBD? Does it run the gamut? Are most people coming in new to the category? And then you both touched on the education of your health enthusiasts. I would love to dig in a little bit more about that, like what that looks like in reality.
Yeah, great question. So when we have the products come in and the education around the health enthusiasts, each brand that we have on shelf has a level of education. Every health enthusiast in our stores will go through that education, and we have a digital platform, and they can sign off that they have gone through that level of education. I think the other thing that you'll see if you go to our site, vitaminshoppe.com, and go on to CBDHQ, is that we actually also lift that education for content on the site. Okay. Because as you all know, we all live in a digital world. We're very focused on making sure that what we share in the store is what we have online, because the majority of our consumers start their journey on a mobile device, like I'm sure all of us in this room do. And so when you can connect what you are saying online with what you're seeing on shelf and what's being shared by those health enthusiasts, that's really very, very important. In terms of the customer question that you asked, we're seeing a very broad variety of people come into our stores looking for CBD. They're looking for solutions. And if you come into our stores, and most of them, not the ones in the city as much because they're much tighter, but out in the suburbs where the majority of our stores, you'll see CBD HQ right up front. Yeah. And up front in that shelf space will be some specific information about the difference between tinctures and capsules, and the different levels of ingredients that are in there and what they'll do for you. And the claims are really linked to the ingredients that they're matched up to because of the whole claim challenges that we have. But they really are looking for solutions. And I think today, we all have been through a lot the last, 20 some months. And you think about stress and, the challenges that people go through, sleep, mood, all of those things. This is an amazing category to help consumers with real health and wellness challenges that are going on in today's market and in our world today.
I mean, I'll just hit on something, because I think the topic of stress right now, we know it is pervasive. It is the epidemic of our day. And when we look at cannabinoids, but also other therapeutic botanicals, we're seeing this efficacious agility and this true therapeutic utility of these molecules. And yes, there's mystery, and yes, there's magic, and yes, there's emerging science, and a ton of it is validated by numerous studies. But what we look at when we think about the endocannabinoid system is this stress management tool and system that we all have. And it's intimately connected to brain and gut health and immunity and stress response and hormone response. So when we, instead of what I love about citizen doctors right now that are flooding your stores and trying to up-level and optimize their own lives, they are thinking about, yes, the erosion of healthcare and rising costs. They're thinking about preventative and also optimization that they can control. And so they are walking the aisles, they're looking for conversations, they're talking to the enthusiasts. They want to take control. And control of stress and the science of stress relief, which is how Prima is positioned, because that is the 90% of plus of all medical conditions and disease is somehow stress related. Inflammatory response and the stress response inside the body. And there's so much stunning opportunity within that holistic system to really manage that and to really talk to the consumer about how do you choose and selectively address those stress response needs.
Excellent. So Sharon, you've taken such a leadership position with CBD in the retail marketplace, and part of the reason is that so many retailers are still very gun shy to add these products to their assortment, or they're doing it on a very small scale. So how do you at the Vitamin Shop do that? How are you not, I don't want to reactivate people in the room, but like the payment processing even, like how do you deal with all of the issues that comes with selling CBD?
So you guys know, it is a patchwork of regulation out there. I mean, it's state by state, sometimes municipality by municipality. And we just so believe in the category that we were willing to invest in the time, energy, and effort to understand where we could go. Some cases, and you guys know this, you can say CBD. Some places you have to say hemp. And so making sure we were willing to, have different assortments so that we could carry the product, but we call it hemp in some locations, and we're actually calling it CBD in others. But I think, for us, I just so believe in the category, but I want to do it right. Yeah. And I believe that if we can be a place where people can really trust the information that they get, that it really can help people. And if it means that I have helped one of our customers and they can live their life better, our goal is to help you become your best self, how you define it. And if it makes one person better, if it helps them with a situation, or it helps them with a parent or a child, or whatever it is, that's why we're in it. It's about lifelong wellness starts here, and we want to be at the forefront and an innovator, and we believe that this is an important category to be a part of.
I mean, everyone should be clapping for that right now. Because that is leadership, that is taking a bold stance, and that is having a level of reverence for this category and for these molecules, and for really what we're trying to do is we're trying to help people thrive and prosper and have every day be a little bit better. And it takes precision, and it takes science, and it takes beautiful aesthetics, and it takes conversations and quality. But it does take leadership positions where people can walk in and step back and say, I have 2 feet, 2 seconds, I've got a partner, I've got a friend, I can see the shelf set, and I can really understand and educate. And that, I just want to say thank you again, because no other national retailer has done that just yet. And the leadership position that you're really blazing a path of quality and commitment. So thank you so much.
Well, our entire team is very much behind the category, and we just, again, want to see it thrive, but thrive in the right way.
Yeah. I want to ask a quick, kind of minutia question. You talked about in some places it needs to be called hemp, some places you can say CBD. Were there any issues with packaging with the brands? Did anything have to be repackaged?
With our partnership, no, because we went into the locations where we could actually say CBD. Yeah. In our private brands, we actually do have in our plant brand, in our V-Thrive brand, we actually have hemp in some states still, unfortunately. But hopefully that will change soon.
Absolutely. Absolutely. We're going to open it up pretty soon to questions from the audience. So if anyone has a question that they want to ask Sharon and Christopher, please think about that right now. But before we do that, I want to ask you all, is this a watershed moment for the category? Is this a turning point? And also, what do you see for 2022 and beyond for CBD, for the cannabinoids, cannabis-based beauty and wellness?
I think tipping point would be an over-aggressive statement. I still think, look, welcome to the world of consumer marketplace. Have some patience. These markets move slowly, and compliance and regulatory move slowly. So if you are not in it for a long-term play, you are in it for the wrong reasons. This takes time, and we are in a very emerging, nascent category. Do I believe regulatory shifts are coming? Yes. Do I imagine that the extinction event that is happening right now within brands and as you are culling marketplace brands? Yes, that's happening too. So there's consolidation happening, but we know pharmaceutical companies, big CPG, large-scale retailers, everyone's looking and waiting. We're hoping for regulatory clarity. I'm very, very hopeful, just given connections that I may have. And I think that what people are now seeing is that they're seeing you need to be a step above, and you need to have institutional level sophistication and capability. And if you're not, then thanks so much for playing. So I would imagine that you are going to see continued refinement, and you are going to see some clarity happening very soon.
Yeah, I would say it's very important to get ready. I would say make sure that all the things that Christopher said in terms of your ability to scale is in place. I do believe it's going to come, but it's going to be still a little while. Yep. And I think that if you can kind of almost kind of get your ducks in a row, really around education and the quality and your co-manufacturers. I mean, are they ready, and do they have the opportunity, and will they have the ability to scale for you? That's going to be very important as well, because and then watching the co-manufacturers that all of a sudden come out of the woodwork that say that they can do stuff. That would make me very nervous. So I would really understand what your capabilities can be when it does happen. It will happen, but I do think it's still going to be a little bit more time.
Yeah, I mean, right now, do your long-term stability testing. Have you all done that? You should. Do that work so you have that documentation prepared and ready. Because you're right, manufacturing sets are like, oh my God, I could do it. We can sprinkle in, we just batch it. No, they can't. Right? You need tier 1 sophisticated manufacturing partners, and they need to really understand how to handle the molecule, not to scorch it and not to overpressurize it. Again, there's a lot of mystery in that cannabinoid profile. CBD is one cannabinoid. There's a lot of others. Be sure they know how to really handle that spectrum, both of that, but then also you're leveraging, and you touched on it very nicely, you're leveraging other therapeutic plants in your formulations. Because cannabinoids do work, but they don't do all the work. And so what are other functional ingredients that you are there to really drive benefit and results? And that's how this category will evolve.
Yeah.
Right? CBD is, and I said category, CBD is been a category, it's a hero ingredient.
Yep.
And so it's one of the ingredients that is really a heavy lifter within your functional stack. And make sure you have it in there at the right levels, and make sure there are other ingredients that are actually doing work that are clinically validated, right? You can make claims against those other ones that are clinically validated. You can't make claims against cannabinoids right now, or don't do it, please.
And I do think that those of us in the room that are driving this industry, the cleaner we can be, it will help. Because part of, I think, the reason why it's also taking longer is because the people that are waiting for us to give us the green light, they're sifting through bad stuff. And it's giving a bad name for the industry. Yeah. So our ability to send our message in an authentic, real way, educated way, is going to be very important for the category and for all of us.
I mean, Claire knows this. Clean is in my DNA. And I think clean is incredibly important around the purity of your ingredients and what's inside, but what's not inside. How are you formulating against a certain? It's not a free of, it's formulation without. And so, are you testing those? Are you testing for glyphosate? Are you testing for other residual chemicals and other residual pesticides and toxicants and heavy metals? We know hemp is a bioaccumulator. So test, validate, verify, assure. Again, this is going inside people. This is a healthcare category. So you need to assure that what you're putting in people's bodies is actually pure and clean.
And the customer's checking.
Yeah, they are.
So they do expect, I can't tell you how many QR codes get looked at in terms of where's the plant from and tracing it back. That matters. Don't skimp on it. Make sure it's real. But that is absolutely clean is incredibly important.
I want to open it up to questions. This was all so super informative, and I love the wide look and also the detail that was given in certain areas. Really, really informative. I would love to open up. I think we have time for 1 or 2 questions. Yes, please. They're going to come give you a microphone. Thank you.
Hi there, thank you so much. Question about form factors. As I look on the website, I see soft gels, I see some topicals. What are you seeing, I know it's still early days, in terms of sales for which of these form factors is winning? And do you see other form factors on the horizon that you're excited about?
I could jump in. Form factors for Prima as a brand, we believe very strongly as being the anti-tincture brand. I think tinctures is old science. The absorption and bioavailability of a oil in the mouth through the buccal region and oral mucosal region is very low. Check the science. It's under 5%. You really need to know how to bring that through that format and through that adoption of those molecules there. So we go vegan soft gel in a lipid bilayer structure to really bypass gut and liver. And I think the format of supplementation is a really great format. I think sprays has a moment and on the topical side as well as sticks and balms, but on the ingestible side, I'm still such a believer in the supplementation and the soft gel market.
Soft gels, and our customers are buying gummies. They want to chew it. They want it easy. They just want to pop it in their mouth. So I think we still have some work to do on the whole gummy thing because it's not the healthiest thing for people to take. But I would say those would be the 2, soft gels and gummies.
And that's our big innovation this year is an anti-gummy ingestible that's a chew format that is plant-based. Get ready. So that's going to be really great because I think gummies are candy. Yes, exactly. Only. Gummies are candy. Like healthcare and candy.
But we like candy.
I love candy. It was Halloween for one day.
It's really more about, people get to the point where they're tired of taking pills, and so if there's another form, as we continue to build this category out, other ways to ingest the product is important. I agree with you on tinctures, though, too. I think that's kind of moving away from tinctures.
Yeah. Do we have time for one more question? Yes? Yes. She's going to bring you the microphone.
Hey guys, hi.
Hi.
This links back to what you were saying, Christopher, around ingredients or not ingredients within the category hero elements, right? So CBD being one of them. The other one is THC, and it's around the corner. And there's already a lot of innovation happening in the space, particularly in California, other states, around this idea of THC being a low-dose opportunity when it comes to health and wellness. I'm just wondering about your take on that piece, and Sharon's your willingness to take the same leadership that you've taken in the CBD space when it comes to THC?
So the problem that we'll have with THC is the banking industry.
Yep.
So until the banking industry and we can actually take money and put it through a bank, we won't be able to sell THC. It doesn't even matter if it's in the state of California or where it is. So the whole banking industry, that component has to be solved for. I would be happy to be in that category the right way, but we have to make sure it's legal and we can get our money into the bank.
I think some people think it's healing without the high. I think it's in our opinion, in my opinion, the fullness of that spectrum is important. Do I love, embrace, and accept THC as one of the molecules right now? Yes. Do I have it in any of our products? No. We fractionate it out further because there's also a Prop 65 warning in the state of California that says leads to cancer. Do I believe that? No. But I don't want to have a Prop 65 label on my product. So as legislation evolves, and candidly, I think consumer education has to evolve too.
Yeah,
So-
it's THC, and especially as you think about employers and testing, there's so much more education that needs to be done on that, and there's a lot of work that still needs to go on in terms of THC. So at least for us, while yes, I would love to take a leadership role the right way at the right time, there's a lot of work that still needs to be done on that in terms of just how we live our lives and the expectations, at least here in the States.
It's a generational shift, and so again, patience. It takes time. It takes good quality, credible humans that are there telling the story and being consistent with message, and not making ridiculous claims, but also just really doing the work around the cannabinoids. Fullness of that spectrum, and the THC one, it's not only about getting high. It's about up-leveling and amplifying and activating and aligning the body system. And I think what you're seeing is a lovely decline in the alcohol market is because people are seeing that shift. I mean, I've got 4 kids. How do we destigmatize and bring that to dinner time conversations? Because it's here. It's in the state of California. It's in New York. It's 19 other states. It's here. It's not going away. So how are you talking to your children? How are you talking to other nascent markets? And then, what are you really saying that is really
We'll get there. I think it's just going to be still quite a bit of time yet.
We are out of time. Thank you both, Sharon and Christopher, so much, really.
Thank you so much.
For a fantastic
Thank you.
conversation.
Thank you so much.
And have a great conference, everyone. Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.
Yeah,
thank you, Claire.
everybody. Thank you, Claire.
Appreciate